Well, hey there, guys. Hope you guys are having a decent weekend. It's been a few days since I've been on. Been busy with work and doing some stuff here around the house and all that. Trying to somewhat get everything picked up for the next couple weeks because the wife is going in for she needs a fusion in her neck done here in the next couple weeks. So we're trying to get things kind of situated. So that's kind of where what I've been doing that and work the last few days. But I got to thinking now, and I mean I know this is early in the off season. I mean we're into free agency and all that, and I know it's not that far it's not that far off before we're going to get into get closer to the season and stuff like that. But I wanted to look at some. I wanted to take a look here at some of these teams. Now, on the one side here is the teams that made the playoffs this last year. The playoff teams in the West, and here are the playoff teams in the East. What I wanted to look at was of the teams on this side, the non-playoff teams. What teams do you guys on the internet? What teams do you think? What team on the right side of both of these columns can knock out a team from the left side and take their place in the playoffs? Which teams could potentially do that? And what teams would get knocked out? So I was kind of looking. I was looking over this and trying to figure out, what teams could potentially, take a playoff spot from one of these teams. And I was and as I look, trying to think of, what the teams have done so far, either in free agency or the draft or, stuff like that. And I was trying to look like a team in the West here, what playoff team in the West doesn't make the playoffs next year and which team takes their place. And I was kind of looking at who's all here. And I was trying to think of all these teams. I think I maybe only see one that changes in the West. And even this one, it's hard to say because there's a couple of teams here of the non-playoff teams that I can see make the playoffs. And I honestly think now this might be a little bit of a hot take here. I think the team that bows out in the West that was in the playoffs this past year that doesn't get it last year, and like I said, just something fun to look at. Not saying that these aren't stone cold predictions. I mean it's still relatively early in the off season. I mean we're only in July here, but I think the team I could see bow out in the West, and I hate to say it because they played their tails off to get in. I don't think they'll do it again. I think St. Louis drops out. I think St. Louis goes over here. Now, the team that I think would replace them. This might be odd. This might be very odd. But and I honestly think, and I'm not picking this because of the hat that I'm wearing. I think these guys legitimately have a chance to get in. And I think they do. I think the Utah Mammoth get into the playoffs next year. Just like I said, just total rumor, innuendo, total, conjecture here. Just, kind of thinking this. Way too early of a prediction here. I think Utah replaces St. Louis in the West. I do think that's the only one, though. I do think that is the only changeover that we have. I think all the other teams pretty much stay the same. Now we go over to the East here. Now this one's interesting because who could I see make the playoffs that would knock a team out of this side, and which team? Now, I think the Rangers have to be better. Obviously, you got to think the Rangers would probably be a little bit better. Can they knock one of these teams out to get in the playoffs? They most likely would have to do it. Would have to be one of the metropolitan teams. And boy, I don't know. I don't know if the Rangers could pull that off. Columbus, maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say the team that goes from the outside into the playoffs this next year, and I'm using the original logo. I'm using the bug, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, who do they knock out? What team do I replace this logo with as the playoff team? Oh my goodness! And it would have to be a wild card. It would obviously have to be a wild card team. And I gotta think. Because right now you've got one Metro team, three Metro teams. Now, like I said, I think it'd be a wild card. It'd be a wild card team. I think Columbus replaces Montreal. So I put Columbus here. Now, who else? Do I think there's another team that could potentially get knocked out or end up bowing out? Oh my goodness. Okay, if it would be an Atlantic Division team, I would have to replace them with an Atlantic Division team. But what? Does Boston have? Would Boston have what it takes to get back into the playoffs? What about Detroit? Boy, I don't know. I'm not sure. The Islanders? I mean, do we replace an Atlantic Division team with a Metro team, and we end up with 5 Metro teams, maybe? Or I don't know. I guess I don't think the Metro is as good. I don't think the Metro is as good as the Atlantic Division. Oh, I mean, Toronto lost Marner. Will that make a real huge difference? I mean, maybe. I mean, it's a lot of production that they're losing that they got to try to replace. But I don't see them that hurting their playoff chances. So I don't see Toronto missing the playoffs. Oh man. I mean, Washington did go from barely making the playoffs last year to being first in the East. Can they do that again? I mean, maybe. I mean, do I see Washington bowing out? I don't see Washington bowing out. I sure as hell don't see Florida. Florida missed the playoffs? Yeah, no. Not the reigning, defending, two-time Stanley Cup champions. That ain't happening. Tampa? No, I don't see Tampa getting bounced either. Oh, Ottawa. You know, Ottawa I'm on the fence on. I like the Senators. I'd like to see them make the playoffs. They have a really, I mean, from what I saw, that new third jersey of theirs, yeah, I look forward to getting that. Of course, Toronto's not missing the playoffs. Columbus, I had Columbus overtaking Montreal. Carolina, no, Carolina's not, I don't think is going anywhere. I think if there's going to be another team that's going to get bounced, and honestly, I think the only way this happens is if they look like a walking mash unit again. But I'm going to say New Jersey. I'm going to say New Jersey gets bounced out there. Now, who replaces them? I think the team that would replace them, they won the President's Trophy just 2 seasons ago. I think the Rangers. I think the Rangers replaced the Devils. I think the Blue Jackets replaced the Canadiens in the East. I think the Mammoth replaced the Blues in the West, and I think that's it. Now, like I said, way too early to be figuring this out, but just kind of throwing it out there, just kind of, throwing a little hook to people, who do you think could make the playoffs in the East and the West that didn't make it last year, and who do they knock out? I've only got 3 between the 2 conferences. I only have 3. Who do you guys have? Let me know in the comments. Who do you guys think would make the playoffs? Who didn't make it last year? And who do they knock out? Let me know in the comments below. In the comments below, hit that like button. Only takes a second. Definitely, lets the algorithm know that people enjoy the channel. And also, too, hit that subscribe button. Also, let all your friends know about the channel. That would be greatly, greatly appreciated. I would love you so much for that. Also, hit that little notification bell that will notify you anytime future videos are uploaded. And if you would, and by all means, please, if you would, share this video with everyone that you know. And if there's any video on the channel that you really like and would like to share with the masses, go right ahead. That would be absolutely awesome, because I would love to have every hockey fan in the world. I'd love to have you all join me here at Larry's House of Hockey. The door to all the hockey fans, whether you're an old fan, brand new fan, the door is open for everybody. And yeah, so let me know. Let me know who you guys think in each conference. Which team that didn't make the playoffs last year possibly makes the playoffs next year, and you know, and which team do they knock out? Let me know. Again, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. That would be awesome. And yeah, I just thought this would be kind of a neat little thing to look at, and it's kind of kind of interesting. I mean, there's not really a lot of hockey going on, and yeah, so just figured I just nice and early little prediction type thing. So again, let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe, share the videos. I will see you guys later.